No, it worked. Oh my god! It was the second. I was like, it better not freeze on two. I was gonna be so mad. What's going on, everybody? We're live. The Sports Bar. Oh, it's been so long. The nosebleed section. We are back. Football
Same
season.
difference.
Yeah,
Same.
same thing. We're under the same umbrella. Whatever. Football season, unfortunately, is finally over. But with that
I
comes.
mean, the playing part of football season is over. Football is a year-round situation.
You are correct. You are
We
correct.
are in my favorite season, the football
I'm
season.
about to say we are actually in the best part of football season, like the off season.
Everybody's 0-0. I don't give a damn who's celebrating where. Everybody's 0-0 now.
We're already over here putting mocks out. Like,
We do not care about what's going on in Vegas or Kansas City or I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist.
It is smoke season and it is mock season. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. That's it. Every rumor we just dropping left and right. Shoot.
That's it. That's it.
Yep. Oh man. But we're back. First crack at the mock draft. Now that the season is over, as you guys probably watched last night, the Kansas City Chiefs were able to pull out win in a great game. That was pretty good. I thought the first half was kind of dry, but it was a good defensive struggle.
It was a chess match. It was definitely a chess match first. Definitely. I mean, even the way it ended, it was an overall sloppy game. Like I will be the first to admit that it wasn't crisp for either side. It was just obviously, as my brother always says, Pat Mahomes kind of has that Tom Brady effect now, where like the ways that he wins has little to do with him and everything to do with happenstance, and it's like the other team just gets the worst luck possible on the plays that they need the best luck. Like the punt return was literally the absolute worst possible situation. The fumble by Christian McCaffrey fumbled 3 times this year, and they were literally about to punch it home on the first possession, and he dropped. Like it was just one of those nights where it was like it felt like no matter what, it just felt like Kansas City was gonna win, and like I hate it because that's how it feels when like the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, where it's like you don't know how, like you don't know why, but like they're just gonna win. So it's like you just kind of buckle up for the ride and just kind of let it go.
What do you think about the overtime rule? All the changes.
Here's my thing. I like the overtime rule. Like it just makes sense. It makes more sense to me because it allows the game to be determined by the players and not by the coin flip. That's kind of how I see it. It's like you both teams get possession, and whoever comes out with the most points at that point, you both get one more shot. You get one more drive. And if you can finish it, finish it. Don't just be like, oh, well, coin flip. Well, this guy's going to finish the drive. Oh, game over. Like that's – and the other team doesn't even get a chance to fire back. Like overtime shouldn't be sudden death. Like overtime shouldn't be sudden death until like I like the new rules. Like each team has a possession, then it's sudden death.
I think it was it's just for the Super Bowl, though. I don't think they're changing that going forward next season in the regular season.
I think it's a playoff thing. Because that was the I know the rule got implemented because of what happened with the Kansas City Buffalo game. Like it was either last year or the year before that when Kansas City won and like Josh Allen didn't even get a chance to get back on the field, and they're like, "This is stupid. Like this is dumb." So I don't know. But that's the thing. It doesn't make sense for them to change. Like they have regular season overtime rules and they have playoff overtime rules and they have a Super Bowl overtime rule. Like that doesn't make sense.
I guess just because it's the big game, they want to change it. I don't know. Like I'm okay with it being sudden death and overtime because I mean I'm a defensive person, and when I coach, so it's like stop them. You got to stop them. You know?
Here's the thing. It's like I would understand that if there wasn't. It didn't always feel like there was some funny business going on with the referees. Like let's be real. Like it's been more so recently where you just kind of like wait, huh?
Like you can't pick your ref crew though. Like
no, you can't.
I think the refs last night were fine, but you pick you get the luck of the draw and get that other group with Brad and all them. Brad Allen, whatever his name is. they were ruining games left and right with some of their calls and their missed calls. So
it's one of those situations where I feel like it puts the onus on the players over, happenstance. Like it takes the happenstance out of it. I like the whole like we both get one punch and then after that it's a free fall.
Like they said the defense stopped them, and then they get the ball back too. Yeah, so it was interesting. I remember I was sitting here at first, like when the Chiefs were down driving the score and the time was running out, and I was just like, yo, like y'all not gonna hurry up. But then they were just like, it doesn't matter because even if that runs out, it's just gonna go to it's another game. It's not just overtime's over and you lose. It would just be like the second quarter of overtime. If that makes sense.
If the game tied.
So the last play of the game last night, the time was at 3 seconds when they snapped the ball and scored the game-winning touchdown. But they said time ran out, it wasn't going to be the game. The game wasn't going to be over. It was going to go to because they said it's like a whole other game is starting. It's not just overtime and that's it.
Yeah,
see, that's game starts.
I don't like that. That's weird.
So that's why the Chiefs were just like walking to the line with like 2 seconds left or like 5 seconds left because they're like it had it run out and they were like, oh, the Chiefs are going to take this to the second overtime or like quarter 2 overtime. But then
that's my. It's if the game is tied at that point, like if they're driving and like San Francisco was up by 3, I feel like if the time runs out, that's game. That's where it would be. If the time runs out, that's game because you had an entire overtime period to finish the game.
Yeah, I think that's part of what San Fran was talking about when they didn't know the rules of overtime. They didn't know it was changed because that's been the whole thing today. San Fran was like, we didn't know the rules of overtime because I guess it was the whole as far as the coin flip, as far as why would you take the ball first in overtime? You should, like everybody's take it second so you know what you have to get. Either if they score a field goal, then you go score a touchdown, the game's over. Or if they score a touchdown, you have to score a touchdown. But then also, I think that's also because why they were lined up, but I feel like they're going to try to say they were playing lax on that last play because they were watching time tick down, and they're like, oh, there's 3 seconds left. If they don't get the time off, if they don't get the play off, the game's over and we win the Super Bowl. So then when they set McCall Hardman in motion, and he ran out, and he threw it, and there was really nobody there, and they were just kind of looking around like, well, there's 2 seconds to go. I guess I don't know. That's my theory on it, but that's what the rule was.
Weird.
They said it would just. They said it's a whole other game. They said overtime does not end the game. They said it's a whole other game.
They need to fix that. Then that's stupid. That's dumb.
Yeah, like, it was definitely a little different. Like stupid. Because I was sitting there like in my room. I'm just sitting here like, yo, there's 3 seconds to go. Hurry up. Like there was no type of rush or anything. It was just and then like Tony was like, remember, it's not overtime runs out, game's over. If this runs over, then it's just the second quarter of overtime, unless the Chiefs score a touchdown. I was like, oh, what? And they do the touchdown, and then it was over. Like with like 2 seconds to go. I was like, oh shit. Like
that's stupid.
That was over.
That's stupid. But then again, too, I also kind of look at it where it's like, the part that pissed me off with the 49ers yesterday, and then we'll get into the draft, trust me. But
yeah. Guys watching, let us know your thoughts on the game, especially the ending and the rules and everything. Everybody watching, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Go ahead.
I think my biggest thing is that San Francisco, during that last drive, had 2 separate opportunities to end the game. They had 2 separate third downs where like they were behind, like they were behind the sticks.
Yeah.
And they could just ended this game. And it was on some like bang bang Travis Kelce gets open in a zone, or like the one time Travis Kelce beat Fred Warner. And it's those plays are frustrating because it's like, yo, y'all have been the best defense all year. And this offense has been, not for nothing, cheeks for most of the year. It's been cheeks for most of the year. And y'all wait till the last play of the last drive of the last game to start like I get it. Greenlaw popped his Achilles, unfortunate. Safety like pop his shoulder. Somebody else.
Debo's in and out the game for a bit, banged up.
So it's like
George Kittle was out the game for a bit, banged up.
So it's like I get it, but
Feliciano went out, banged up. Like,
so that's what I mean. Like I get it, but at the same time, it's like, yo, stop letting like there's no excuse here because you had control of your own destiny. You could have shut the door. Like, that's why it's like I kind of look at like people are like, oh, Brock Purdy, or like I heard Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith like lamenting on like Brock Purdy, this, that, and the third. I'm like, bro, I'm looking more at that defense than I am Brock Purdy. I'm squarely looking at the defense. Like, y'all know that this team lives and dies by how y'all play.
It's
and
tough
y'all
because,
waited to the y'all wait, but that's just the thing. You waited to the last. It's one of those where it's like, yo, this game did not even have to go to overtime.
Well, it's
if
like
y'all
everybody
played
says, like,
the way y'all played, yo.
You gotta play 60 minutes of football, and they played 59. They played 59.
Because it doesn't matter that they had a great first half. It doesn't matter if they had a great first 3 quarters. The last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, y'all got exposed. Y'all got exposed, bro.
It's tough because like you can't. It's tough because you can't like. But like everybody was like, you can't play a zone against the Chiefs because Kelsey's gonna tear you apart. So then you have to play. Yeah, so then like he tore you. Well, it wasn't even just Kelsey because in the first half Kelsey only had 1 target, 1 reception. But then you have other people that were just stepping up and having all year. Like MVS has been inconsistent. We know MVS has been bowling games. Like then you sit up here and you got what's the other kid? Blake Bell.
Yeah.
Or Watson, like 84, he started killing too. Like you were just letting people pick you apart. And then on top of that, my biggest thing is like now and the one thing that was really killing me was every time Mahomes pulled the ball. Now I understand you're going after the run, you're watching Pacheco go downhill, whatever, blah blah. But there was multiple times where Bosa went flying downhill, flying downhill after the run, and Mahomes just pulled the ball out and was just running up the field. I'm just like, yo, you have to stay disciplined on this because if you think about it, everybody and their mother knows that you are going to keep trying to chase this ball, and you're sitting back of your head. Ain't no way Mahomes is pulling it. Ain't no way Mahomes is pulling it, and he pulled it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and you kept falling for it. At some point, Bosa, you have to stay home. Like, that was undisciplined. And then on top of that, you're not having anybody spy. Like, I mean, I get Mahomes.
This is what I'm saying.
But there was nobody spying this guy. So every time he just pulled the ball, the whole defense just chased after Pacheco. And Pacheco, not for nothing, didn't break no 60-yard run. He was getting tough 2, 3, 4-yard runs. So why is all 10 of you and leaving the corner backside, the other 10 of you are flowing to the ball, leaving Mahomes to just pull it and run for 30 yards every single time? I'm like, what are you doing?
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody staying back home. Nobody played discipline on the back end of the defense.
And that's my biggest thing with this team is that, like, yo, we can all talk about how Brock Purdy didn't score a touchdown after, like, the first couple of quarters and he didn't play well, particularly well in the second half. I will give the Chiefs defense all the credit in the world. Chris Jones stepped up in an amazing way. They were batting down plays left, right, and center.
Yeah, Nick Bolton.
But here's my thing. It's like the same way San Francisco destroyed them the first 3 quarters in like 12 minutes. The Kansas City defense was out here getting killed, but holding up until the last 3 minutes where they played the best football I've seen them play all season. And that's my biggest thing is if you see the other, as a defender, if you see the other team's defense doing what they're doing and realizing like, oh yeah, we're not going to score again. We have to end this game. We got to shut the door. Y'all got to have that moment. Like when you see Chris Jones on the sideline bringing the whole defense together.
Yeah, I saw that.
The captain on the other side has got to be like, yo, no. Don't even give them hope. Don't even give them hope. Like, don't give them hope at all. Like, you've got to like that 49ers defense did not respond at the end of the game.
I think
they held up, but they did not respond. And I think those are 2 different things. They held up because they're talented. But like you said, there were too many disciplined mistakes that cost them the game as much as Brock Purdy not being 6'5".
Not being 6'5", but I also cannot take credit away from Spags. I can't take credit away from Spags because he's
like all the respect. Hell of a fucking he coached the shit
even
out.
That last play, he had Purdy had Jawan Jennings.
Yeah,
Jennings opened that corner to the end zone, and they were like, "This was the Super Bowl right here." If not for Spags sending that delayed blitz from the corner, and him getting home on
that
Purdy.
And again, Chris Jones blew the fuck up out of that play. He blew that shit up.
Yep.
So like even if the corner came delayed, Brock still would have had enough time to get it to him. If Chris Jones doesn't blow up that play, 49ers are Super Bowl champions. Period. Well, if Brock makes the pass, but Brock's proven that like he'll make the pass. But
Between
like again, all the credit to Chris.
And the blocked extra point was huge.
And here's my thing. This is where like maybe I hung out with you too much in college, and I've hung out with too many people that like defensive football. This is the shit that really pisses me off. There is that moment where you kind of look at the game and where the game really changed. I'm sorry, Patrick Mahomes should not have gotten Super Bowl MVP. He shouldn't have. He got it because he's a quarterback, and I understand. He got it because he's a quarterback.
There was no like. So once the Chiefs won, there was nobody else to give it to. Like that was the biggest thing.
Giving it to Chris Jones. I would have given it to Chris Jones.
Yeah. You could argue that. You could argue that, but they weren't going to do that because you look at like they looked at Mahomes' numbers. You see 300 yards and you see 2 touchdowns.
And I get all that. And again, he's a face of the NFL. He's the flashy play and all that other stuff. But to me, I look at it as Mahomes could have played the same exact game. They lose if Chris Jones isn't there.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
I will stand on business 100%. With that one. And you've seen it, bro. Think about it, they almost lost to the Jets. If Chris Jones didn't come back that game, we win that game.
How many batted balls does this guy have? Him and like I think Mike Pennell, I think Melton, like Karlaftis, like they were knocking down passes left and right.
The defense deserves that MVP more than Pat Mahomes does, and Pat Mahomes said as much in his speech.
I can see it. What's crazy? I was really trying to figure out who was going to get the MVP of the Niners. Well, now it's interesting to me because Purdy wasn't going to get it, in my opinion.
No, like Purdy shouldn't have got it.
I think I have 2 names if who would have won it. One, I think because of the yards he got towards the end, they would have given it to McCaffrey because he had close to 200 all-purpose. Like I think he had
it was 80 and 80.
70. 80. Yeah, there you go. The only other person I was considering was Jawan Jennings because Jawan Jennings was in his bag last night. He threw a touchdown pass. He caught a touchdown pass. He was balling last night.
Here's what they know. Jawan Jennings waited till, again, there's another motherfucker who waited to the second half to actually wake up. I mean, if you was doing all that all game, bro, like if you was doing what you was doing at the end of the game, if you would have started cooking homeboy from jump instead of letting Brandon Ayuk and I think that's what it was, is that they were playing more Brandon Ayuk and Debo early on, and then they had to go to Jawan Jennings when Debo just wasn't Debo.
Yeah, like,
so maybe that's what it was.
Debo couldn't run because he pulled his hamstring. He'd been messed up, and I don't think Ayuk did much last night either.
I mean, he had a couple of clutch catches, but he was on clamp. He pretty much McDuffie and Snead had homeboy on clamps all night.
What had me was that first drive of the overtime where I thought it was going to be over when they had that 3rd and 13.
Mm-hmm.
They had 3rd and 13, and they got not bailed out because it was a correct call, but that defensive holding just got him out the hole. I was like, oh my gosh! At first, Nick Bolton almost picked it, and then the 3rd and 13. I forget who was it. McDuffie. I think it was McDuffie got called. It was McDuffie or was it McDuffie that got called for that defensive holding? I was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, yo, you cannot just bail these dudes out of a 3rd and 13. I thought they were going to punt down. The Chiefs going to go down, get a field goal, or whatever, and win, or a touchdown and win. I was like, oh my gosh, like
I could have sworn that's how this was going to go, but you know,
crazy.
But again, it goes back to getting McDuffie at 25. To me, trading up to get McDuffie a couple of years ago, probably one of the best moves the Chiefs have ever made.
He balled out in a crazy way. Look in the chat. Calvin said the Niners dropped the ball. I mean, yeah, we just went over that. They definitely did. And 10 no Hikari. I'm a few minutes behind you guys. My views on OT is they need to pick one rule and stick to it. There are reports saying San Fran didn't even know there were different OT rules for the playoffs. That's what we got to figure out. Like, was it all playoffs or was it just a Super Bowl? Because I feel like I feel like it said Super Bowl rules.
I think they put it as that because I don't remember there being a lot of overtimes in the playoffs this year. But I remember them saying that they were changing the rules for the playoffs. and the Super Bowl. That I remember the discussion being about. It was supposed to be for both, but they never had to use it. That's where it's weird. But the way that this one is set, if what you're telling me is right, that's it. It should just be an extra quarter.
I gotta look it up.
And if it's tied at the end of that quarter, then let it be sudden death. Don't be like, oh no, then we just gonna keep playing like that. No, don't give me that whole it's a brand new game. No, it's an extra quarter. That's it. Like stop. Yeah, like that's over policing and over trying to you putting it's too much hands in the cook. Like nah, I don't like that.
I mean, if that's true, then that's bad because there shouldn't be a different set of rules from regular season to postseason to just the Super Bowl. Like I think that
this was I think this was experimental. That's why I think the rules were experimental. They were implementing it in the playoffs to see how it worked because
that's
of
an experiment.
it was the worst time for it to be the first time for that it happened. It's literally the worst time for that to be the case. But I think that's what it was, and it's like, oh, if these work and they work fine, then we'll implement it through and through.
Yeah, that's crazy. Billy Moss says, "Good job, my dog. Special teams hurt them. He had two drives that won the game. Pat Mahomes, that is. And June, what up, June? Yeah, Billy Moss, I agree. Special teams, especially like you said before, that punt.
Oh,
and at first, everybody was like, "Yo, why would Ray McCloud try to go for the ball?" But like, you could see it, like it deflected. Like you could see the trajectory of the ball. Like when it came down, you saw it. It came down and it hit something and just immediately shot to the side. That lets you know, like it hit somebody. And he wasn't about to. He probably saw it, but he probably wasn't about to risk it regardless. So I get why he tried to go off, but it was just like, oh my gosh. As soon as that happened, I was like, oh, this is I don't think the Chiefs scored that time, did they? Did they get that field goal that time?
No, I think they scored. I think they scored.
That was the end of our 22-minute rant of the Super Bowl. We were supposed to be doing a mock draft tonight.
Nope. I guarantee it's probably our mock because we don't have a lot of contentious figures on this call. There probably won't be a lot of overt discussion and over analyzing, so that's probably about as deep as we're gonna get.
Yeah, that's true too. Let's start it up. I'm going first.
I guess you can do odds. I'll do evens.
That's fine, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. Who should take what? Because again, we want to know what everybody thinks. It's not just obviously this isn't how it's going to go down. We know draft night always gets crazy. It's always trades left and right, and we're not going to do trades tonight, but we're going to talk about it because there's a lot of situations that are going on and a lot of, like we said, it's smoke season.
Yeah.
It's big smoke season. People are going left and right. Trades are going to happen. I think we were just talking like before we got on earlier today. We were talking like the Steelers moved on from Trubisky. Now the Steelers are talking about Mike Tomlin's loving Justin Fields. They also said they were trying to make contact with Ryan Tannehill already. Like, I don't know
it is crazy. Not to mention, I don't know if you've been keeping up with like a lot of the pro mock draft people. Olu is falling, bro.
Yo, they said his play strength is not good.
Yeah, it's one. That's the big knock on him is play strength.
I know.
I'm like, bro, this is. I feel like, and I think I heard Connor Rogers say it. It's like this feels like the Mekhi Becton over Tristan Wirfs thing all over again. That's what it feels like, and it's like I don't know. Like I truly don't know. Like I don't know what the like because there's no way for you to measure that in anything coming up. There's nothing.
You have to watch his tape and see what
you have to watch his tape, and if it's not there, it's like yo, he's also still really young. I think he's gonna turn 21 during the season.
He is young. I'll give you that.
I
told you, I heard that knock a couple weeks ago, and like I'm not gonna say it immediately took him off my board, but like that's what you started seeing that fall because the dude was like a top 5, top 7 lock pick, and now
he was realistically he was a top 4 lock.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, dude, he was OT number 1.
Yeah.
Now dude's dropping to 15, 20, like
yeah, it's in that range now, and it's like, dude, what?
Again,
play strength because again, with all these freakish like edge rushers and stuff like that, with these Greek god like strength, like you're gonna get tested. Like the backups are gonna test you. And if you don't have good play strength, like you can have all the flexibility, all the nuance and all that stuff to your game. If you don't have the play strength, bro, you're gonna get backed up. We've seen it. We saw it yesterday, bro. How many times did the guard get walked back by Chris Jones?
Yes.
Like Purdy was out here. Purdy was out here babysitting.
It was like, bad. The giant topic was good, bro. Chris, what up? It was bad. It was bad, man. Like, and that's being a State fan. That's the main thing I saw from him. I'm not gonna just take credit and be like, oh, he has bad play strength. I'm not gonna do that. But like watching the State games, the biggest thing I really saw from him was, I'm staying in front of the edge rusher, but I'm getting pushed back into my quarterback's lap every time, which means you don't have an anchor. You're not dropping your hips. You don't have a good anchor foot. You have to anchor yourself, and if you can't do that, like it's coachable, yes. But if you're telling me you're OT number 1 and you don't have an anchor, like you can't pass protect, like you're getting put back in your quarterback's lap, I'm not taking you number 1.
And the wild part is that his biggest plus was his pass protection. Like it's the hand fighting, the flexibility, kick slide, and all that other stuff. Like that's the stuff that I heard about him. That's great. But it's like
somebody all you want, but if you get walked back into the quarterback's lap, you're not helping me.
Yeah, like I
need you to stalemate him at the line in pass pro. I don't need you to get driven back 4 yards back. Like
where like he's got to move and he's got to adjust and step up and move. Like again, it looks nice. It looks cool as a quarterback, but like if I'm at the tackle, like bro, you just got punked like 3 straight plays. Like homeboy just bull rushed you into somebody else's lap. Like
it's pass protection. Stalemate him at the line. Stop getting blown back. Sink your hips, drop your foot back, anchor yourself, stalemate him at the line. Like, and that's the biggest thing. Like, I never saw it at Penn State, so I'm not surprised. Like, I'm not surprised when people are like, oh, this, oh, that. I'm like, I don't see it. Like, he could be a good tackle all he wants, but he plays soft. I'm not doing that. Nobody wants that. Especially if you're trying to take somebody chop 5, you think it's going to be your franchise left tackle. And you play soft? No thanks.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. You know who to go to. You go hit the alt key and go get Joe Alt. Notre Dame lineman. Like.
Yeah. Honestly.
All right, let's get into this mock. So, first pick, Chicago Bears, right? I'm pretty sure everybody's thinking that these guys they're leading out all the smoke, saying that might be getting traded, but we also like Caleb. They're liking Post, blah blah blah. But they're also saying that if we were to trade this pick, it's going to be we want at least this year's 1, next year's 1, and a 2, or whatever else you want to have, depending on how far you're going to drop back. Now, if you do decide to keep Justin, then if you trade back, you have to assume he's going to try to trade back, but stay in the top 4 to 5, because they're going to want to try to land somewhere they can still snag Marv and give Justin a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, have you heard anything else, anything different, or anything like that we haven't covered?
The only thing that I've heard is that Washington is exploring trying to trade up to 1. That's the only thing I've heard about this. And
I mean,
that Justin Fields could be traded for a 3rd. Some people see for a 2nd. You know, that's about as much as I've heard.
Like
it's airtight at this point. It's airtight coming out of Chicago.
It makes sense. And then again, what you have when you went and you hired Cliff Kingsbury, and then on top of that, Caleb was from the DMV area. Like they want to bring him home, so it makes a ton of sense. But,
and you just got a new ownership group, so like you really want to freshly rebrand the franchise.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right. For the sake of we're not making trades this time, maybe we'll make some trades next time. Yeah, we can always force a trade if we need to, but
for
the sake of this, we were going Caleb Williams at pick 1. And Jay on pick 2.
Now, my biggest thing that I'm starting to hear is that the conversation is no longer Caleb Williams and Drake May. It's Jaden Daniels and Drake May. And the gap is way smaller than we initially knew. That, along with play style, along with pedigree and all that other stuff, especially given Now, who's, like you said, who's running the Washington offense and things like that? I'm more inclined to believe the more recent rumors. And I'm just going to say that Washington takes Jaden Daniels over Drake May.
I believe it. I believe it. I mean, we've been hearing a lot about Drake dropping.
Yeah, there's a lot. And it's a lot of the weird, like, he's not as accurate as you say he is. He's not as mobile as you say he is. It's like you get one camp that's like, well, he's underrated athletic. And you get another camp like, yo, he can't move. And he's just big. But he's big and not accurate. So it's weird. It's weird.
You taking Jaden?
Yeah, I'm taking Jaden.
All right. I mean, I'm the Patriots. Pick 3. I mean,
this one is a hot. It's a hot pick.
Yeah.
This one is
talked about
spicy, right?
We've talked about it. We've gone back and forth about it. Is it going to be a quarterback? We were talking about the whole Mac Jones thing. They're talking about trading him and moving on from him. I don't know what his value is going to be, to be honest with you. Like, I told you personally, I wouldn't give that guy. I wouldn't trade for the guy in general. But
I'll tell you what, it's probably more than Zach Wilson.
I mean, what realistically do you think you could ask or get back from Mac? You're going to get like a 4th, 5th?
I think you get like an early day 3 pick, like a 4th, 5th. Yeah, I think you'll probably get like a 4th, 5th. And it just depends, because it could very well be from a team that just needs a backup quarterback.
Maybe fair, I guess. I'm right now in the Patriots again. New head coach. You got new staff coming in. I think, they're gonna restart. Bailey's gonna move on. They might keep Bailey's after. I don't know, but Mac's out the door.
I think they're gonna go the veteran route, though. I really think they're gonna push to go the veteran route. I do, especially because
who's out there that you would think that they would be comfortable bringing in and just like again, are we talking about a Tannehill situation? Like,
I think it could be a guy like Tannehill. It could be a guy like Mitchell Trubisky, honestly, who just got let go by the Patriots. Like, it could very well be that. It could be maybe they make a move to try to get Derek Carr. Like, they want, from what I hear, is that they want a veteran. They want a veteran. It could. I like it. There's a decent amount of possibilities out there. They could definitely. I could even see them going after a Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew, shoot. I mean, he had himself a year. I'll tell you that.
And that's what I mean. Like, even if you don't want him this year, and you don't think the draft class next year is fantastic, Gardner Minshew for 2 years is not the worst you would do, especially on a team where you have to completely rebuild.
I mean, if you could rock with Gardner Minshew for a year and you end up with like a top 3 pick, you might find your way into Shedeur Sanders.
I mean, that's assuming that Shedeur plays his way into a top 3 pick.
I would assume he would.
I don't know, because again, the same way we thought Caleb was like a bona fide number 1, number 2, and then midway through the season there were so many. He had so many questions. I think, given Shedeur's limited athleticism and the fact that he's not this electric, like the ball doesn't jump out of his hands, and he's definitely more of a traditional quarterback. I think there's more of a likelihood that he'll drop, much the way Drake May is now. Versus,
I'm just interested because you have that quarterback. Who's that quarterback draft class next year? He might be the best of a worst bunch.
He might be, but again, that's a Kenny Pickett situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, he may be the best of the worst, but the best of the worst may start in the mid-20s. Especially with Travis Hunter. Especially with Travis Hunter coming out, and like that first time where you really have to look at it as like, yo, he could be a dual player. Like, that's a different kind of situation.
I think he's gonna be good though, because I mean, he put up numbers this past season, and then you gotta look at most of that team was young. I think another year, those guys in that system, another year older, another year wiser, they're gonna get that thing rolling, and you got other kids coming in. they're gonna have a good year. I think Shadur's gonna put up some numbers, and I think he's gonna put like I mean I hope he does. There are people I'm pretty sure you've already saw it. There was something talking that came out last week talking about Shadur and Shiloh trying to go 1-2 next year. Now
Well, again,
I don't believe that they're gonna take a safety at 2.
No, Prime even said it's not Shador and Shiloh, it's Shador and Travis.
Was it Shador and Travis? I saw something about Shiloh.
No, I think they said Shiloh can go first round, but Shiloh going
on the older side too.
Shiloh going 2 would be insane. Like he would have to be like a Dawkins.
You have to guarantee me Shiloh Sanders is the next Ed Reed or Troy Polamalu
or Brian Dawkins or
Dawkins or even like a Ryan Lott or something. You better guarantee me a Hall of Famer from taking a safety at 2.
Yeah.
Like that I think he's 23, 24 years old. He's older.
Yeah, he's an older prospect. He's definitely an older.
I'm going Drake May. I don't like just get like to move on with this, but
I would, and I actually like Drake May for them better than I would Jaden Daniels anyway, because I don't think they know how to use him.
I don't know. I want to see what Jared Mayo and that staff can do with him though. It's different. It's not the same. So I don't know. Who's their OC over there right now?
We'll see. I feel like this is chalk. Like this mock draft is turning up chalk right now. I'm taking Marv here just because you got to rock with Kyler. Got to give Kyler all the help he can get. Like the only real argument to me would be like if I'm gonna take Joe Alt here, just because like strengthen that offensive line because I know they might lose DJ
Kyler. I get it.
Yeah, and they might lose DJ Humphries, but I want to give him the best receiver that he's had since like D Hop and Fitzgerald left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I completely agree with that pick. I mean, you can have him. You got Hollywood over there.
Mm-hmm.
Trey McBride started to show off a little bit last season. Still got Connor rushing. Yeah, they're gonna have to attack the O line though at some point. Like second round,
first round pick. So it's like they
do it first round. So then
they
can Brad Martin or something.
Yeah, they can definitely move up and get like that second or third tier of the offensive line, or that first tier of the interior offensive line if they really wanted to.
So this is where it gets interesting for me because
I feel like this one's a layup, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this one's
like it's interesting in the fact that I've talked to Chargers fans that legit want Brock Bowers. Like,
yeah.
So that's interesting to me, and I'm like, I get it because Chargers fans are used to tight ends playing and being very prolific in their offense with the Antonio Gates, even a Hunter Henry. So I really get it. I'm personally kind of looking at Malik Neighbors. Not gonna lie to you.
I don't think there's a bet for that one.
I don't either. Between the two of them and the fact that I think Keenan's 32, 31, 32, 33 pushing. Mike Williams can't stay healthy, and honestly, Quentin Johnson looks like a bust already.
Here's the thing. Here's my counter to that. It's a threefold thing. One, Jim Harbaugh. We know how much he loves his tight ends, and I think personally, you give him a Brock Bowers with a Justin Herbert, like Brock Bowers could be more special than we've seen him be. Secondly, with how deep this receiver class is, you can go and get a guy later on that is still going to be as productive. Like you can go and get a number 2 guy. Realistically, you can go and get a number 2.
I don't know what their second round pick is. I assume that they're early in the second round, but if they're up there, I'm pretty sure they could fall. Somebody like Xavier Worthy or Troy Franklin could potentially fall right
or even like a Troy Franklin, Xavier Legette. Like there are guys there that are legit number 2 options. Like even Keon Coleman to a degree. Keon Coleman can drop. And because he's been dropping since like really people started looking at his tape. Like homeboy's been dropping.
Yeah, I mean, I love the guy. I think I love the size, the makeup of the guy. He's got punt return ability, which is pretty interesting for a guy his size. But I get it because he's not the most crisp route runner. He doesn't separate as much. I get it. Like I get it.
But again, I think a lot of that is like you got to trust your coaching staff. Like you got to get a really good wide receivers coach to really work with him and to hone that, because the last thing you want is for him to turn into a Pickens attitude wise. you want to harness that aggression that he has and not take away what makes him special, but like teach him the nuances of running routes and being a true NFL wide receiver. Because if he can start to understand the nuances of route running and the little things, he can be special. He can be very special.
Yeah, very much so.
I understand the Neighbors pick, but I do think, like you said, their tight ends are getting older, and I think Harbaugh is going to want to bring in some juice.
To be honest, I can't even name the Chargers tight. I think it's Dylan Parham.
Something like that.
That's the only person I can really think of. But I think I will go Bowers here because I think they want. I do think they want to have somebody dynamic in there. I'm still interested to see what's going to happen with Keenan Allen and Michael. Honestly, you're not going to move on from Quentin because he's only in his first year. But I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Mike and Keenan, just because Mike can't really stay healthy as much. Keenan's getting up there in age. So I mean, you do have Josh Palmer still. But I still do think you could add somebody like, again, a Bowers in the first round. And then, again, if you want to keep attacking that offense, you can go back in the second, get a receiver, or even in the third, because it's a deep wide receiver class.
Super deep class.
So I will go Bowers on that.
Not to mention, the next draftable tight end is has like a third round grade, maybe?
It should be. Well, because it's Jatavion Sanders, a tight end from Texas, and he has a first round grade on him. Like, he's a talented tight end, but
really, the earliest I've seen is late second, maybe third.
I've seen early to mid second for him. That's most of what I've been seeing. But I actually saw some last. I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday or Saturday where they were like, "There's not a love for Jatavion Sanders, and we don't understand why." I think it was was it PFN? It was like Pro Football. Was it Pro Football? Was it PFN? It was somebody put it out, and they were talking about. They put a whole article out about Sanders and how his game is like really good and almost comparable to Bowers. But
yeah.
All right, you on the clock with the Giants? Where are you going?
This is chalk for me. I'm going Malik Neighbors. I don't like, as much as I like Rome and I understand the love for Rome. When I heard the comparison of Malik Neighbors to Antonio Brown, I so get it, because it's like, not only is this guy like, he has the size, he has legit size, but he has that runaway ability where it's like, if you don't stay on him, and good luck trying to stay on him, if he gets off it, you're not touching him. Like, you can't catch this guy. And it's like, with the way Daniel Jones throws the ball, you got to be in open space. Like, you got to allow for a certain level of like inaccuracy, and I think Malik Neighbors gets open so well and plays so well in space that he'd be able to track the ball in a way that would almost kind of cover up for what Daniel Jones doesn't do well. Also, like, you guys need a bona fide, solidified, unquestioned number one top alpha, and that's what Neighbors is.
I would love the pick. I mean, you add Neighbors with Hyatt and Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson, like, that's a solid four. That's a good receiving core. They're all young, and then I want to see what's going to be interesting. What happens with Waller? Like, people were already calling for Waller's head, and I'm like, all right, like, we invested a third round pick into him, and as far he played in 10 or 11 of the 17 games this year, he still had a 600-yard season. I understand we wanted the ball that's going to put up 800-900 yards receiving. It didn't happen. But you also have to look at the quarterback play. You also have to look at the O-line play. Like, there's a lot of factors that go into it. So I'm not going to write off him yet. So and then you have Daniel Bellinger behind him. So you got a good tight end core. You could add another tight end in the mid to later rounds if you really want. I know we have Caden, but I know Caden's been kind of hit and miss lately. So. But I think that'll be a great receiving core. Like, and then you
can go back and add another guy later. You can still add another guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's going to happen
to this group. So it's like, I just feel like Malik Neighbors is a layup.
Yeah, and then I want to see what happens with Hodgins too, because he had a down year past season too. But again, all these factors are because of the quarterback play and everything too. So
yeah.
I'm on the board, and this one for me is a layup because I'm going.
Yeah. Even though I will say I've heard some noise about them going Terrion Arnold here, or really loving Arnold.
That's interesting.
Like that was one, like, huh, okay, like that's
interesting. I get it though, because I feel like, the whole Caleb Farley thing was kind of a failed experiment. Can't stay healthy, all that. But
yeah,
if I remember correctly, didn't Brian and Bill Callahan just go over there?
Like, yes.
The best O-line coach in football is over there. You get probably what you think is the best tackle in the draft. Yeah, let me give Joe.
Oh yeah, no, it makes sense. Like it makes perfect sense. Yeah. I'm just a little biased because I'm like, God, I want Joe Alt to drop so bad. I want him to drop.
Whoever is going to be playing quarterback for the Titans next season is going to have a good one in Joe Alt. I don't know who it's going to be. Because
I don't think there's a question who's going to be playing quarterback next season.
The Titans?
I really don't. I don't think there's a question.
Personally. Oh yeah, well, Will Levis. I forgot about Will Levis.
That's what I'm like. Will Levis has balled out, and like that's again, true. The coach they just got is supposedly really good at developing quarterbacks, and then he brought his dad over. So like again,
saying yeah, like well, there you go. Will Levis gets the best lineman in the draft to protect himself.
Yep.
All right, you got the Falcons.
The Falcons, considering that they didn't trade up to get a quarterback here, that'd be like my only like ooh okay.
Yeah,
I am so curious, and I think this pick is really contingent on what the medicals look like for Laiatu Latu.
Really?
I think, again, as much as they need a little more juice, I think Laiatu Latu, from just a skill standpoint, from a like if you're just looking at a pure pass rusher, is the best pure pass rusher in this class. He's not going to test amazing. He's not going to do it. But if you're just talking about, like, he reminds me of, like, when we were looking at Jermaine Johnson. And it's just like, bro, he has all these moves. He has all the push-pull. He has everything that you want in terms of bag. But he's just not the most athletic dude in the world. So I think this one is kind of like, you can go one of two ways. I'm going to go with more of because I think they need a bunch of different types of pass rushers, but I'm going to go with the power guy here. The more strong, physical guy, and I'm gonna go Jared Verse here.
Ooh, all right, I didn't see that one coming. Jared Verse back in the top 10. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. We got our first shocker of the night.
Like I think honestly, you can go Dallas Turner or Jared Verse here, and there wouldn't really be a bad choice. But I just feel like Latu needs to be in the conversation just because of how good he is. But it really depends on the medicals. But I just think Verse and Dallas would complement each other. But I think again, Verse is the more traditional edge, while Dallas Turner is more of an outside linebacker type.
Yeah, he's smaller. He's 6'4", 6'3". No, I think Dallas measured in either 6'2" or 6'3". But I think he's about 240. He's a little smaller. Right. I think Jared Verse is about 265, 270.
Yeah, he's more of your traditional edge, and I just feel like
Verse hand in the dirt edge versus outside linebacker TJ Watt style.
Yeah. And I just feel like we've already tried that with Vic Beasley and it didn't really work. So let's get a guy that we know at least possibly like on the top end can get you 7-8 sacks, please. Like, can we get a solid guy? And then, if there's a sexy pick next year and you're in the range to get a sexy pick, or you can go out in free agency and get a guy that's a little more sexy, because there's going to be a couple of them coming out this year in free agency. Like, then, this is your edge setter. Like, this is your tone setter to me.
Interesting. So I got the
You Bears also have a very interesting pick here.
I know. I'm thinking. I'm really thinking. So like, I'm thinking two names right now. It's not Olu's not up there right now. The only reason I was thinking Olu is because I know they're talking about moving on from Cody Whitehair, but Whitehair is a guard,
right?
Olu tackle. So I'm not really considering him right now. The two names I'm looking at, because we went Caleb at 1. So I'm thinking you go get Rome and give him a weapon opposite DJ Moore.
Right.
The only other thing I'm thinking is if instead of that, you go Dallas Turner and you pair Dallas Turner up with Montez Sweat, and you build that.
I don't think there's a bad there's not really a bad look. Only thing I can say is with this one, it's like, what do you value in terms of position? Like, which unit do you think needs the most in terms of talent help? Because
I'm trying to think of who's on either side. So you have like receivers, you got DJ Moore, and I'm trying to think of who else is over that receiver.
Darnell Mooney, I think.
And then you think defensively, you got Sweat, you got Edmonds, and I can't think of anybody else defensively they have like on that front seven at least. I know they have some. I can't remember who they have across, and that's why I'm thinking like if you're gonna, my only thing is like if you're gonna get Caleb, you're gonna want to get Caleb a weapon. But again, like we've been saying the whole time, you have a chance to get debatably the best edge on the board in the draft. He's sitting there for you at 9 when you probably didn't expect it. And then if you have a high second round pick, you can go back and just add a receiver then. So I'm gonna go Dallas Turner here.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And you know what's funny? I'm at 11, and I have another interesting one coming.
This puts me in quite a pickle. Not gonna lie, this puts me
because you know who you want.
I know who I want, but I also know that Jets fandom and some Jets players are really high on Odunze. Like really high on Odunze.
Really?
And Garrett Wilson definitely does need a running mate. That being said, and then I think about it and it's like we are losing all but like Max Mitchell, I think, in terms of like Max Mitchell and Carter Warren are probably like the only tackles under contract. I understand like we talked about like in like ad nauseum in terms of like the whole Olu thing.
Yeah.
This is very difficult because again, a lot of people you look at Olu and you look at the production and the skill set and all that other stuff, and you think about like, oh, we need a guy that's going to protect Aaron Rodgers and all that other stuff. And the guy that I love Talise Fuonga. But there is some question about the tightness in his groin and his footwork in terms of being able to stay in front of guys and stay in front of a lot of smaller. What's the word? A lot of smaller edge rushers, which is a lot of what Mekhi Becton struggled with this year. Like a lot of like having to deal with speed rushers. So like that is a little bit of a concern. But I to me, I'm just not going to overthink it. Like I know who the GM likes. I know what we need. As much as I would love Rome here, I'm gonna go with my gut and take Talise Fuonga. Like that to me has just been the guy that I've heard so much connected to the Jets that it's like I'd be shocked if even if Olu's there, they don't take him because again, you cannot as an offensive tackle be like, oh, we're gonna take a franchise left tackle and play strength is a question. Like technique, arm strength, arm length, all that other stuff, you can deal with that because you can coach techniques to deal with that. You can't coach tough. And I mean, with Fuonga, like again, with Fuonga, like he is probably the top-rated offensive lineman in terms of the run game. He's a captain. Guy is known for his toughness. Teammates love him. Like he's the type of tackle you want to bring in and park on the right side and not think about it.
Yeah, you want some nasty, you want a mauler, you want somebody to come in. Yeah, I completely get it.
And give you like, and again, long gone are the days where like a quarterback gets tackled and the offensive lineman does nothing and they just walk around lost. Like we need a guy that's gonna get in somebody's face and like grab a face mask or something that's really gonna get nasty and set the tone. That's gonna drive a helmet into the turf or something. Like we need that kind of monster in like the worst way.
I dig it. All right. So I'm here with the Vikings, right? And I might shake the room real quick.
Oh
So
boy.
I'm not gonna go completely off the rails, but I'm gonna tell you my pick, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna do the pick first, and then I'm gonna tell you why. This is my pick. Now I'm
That's
gonna go Latu because I really think the Vikings are gonna start blowing shit up. Because you gotta remember they got Danielle Hunter over there. Now Danielle Hunter is a free agent this year. And I think that man's going to try to break the bank. And now you're sitting up here, you're the Vikings, you have to think, are we going to pay him? But then you look on the offensive side of the ball, and you got Kirk Cousins talking about he wants some money back. And then you talk about Jay Jettis, and Jay Jettis is like, I ain't taking no discounts. I'm trying to break the bank as well. So you have to make a decision. Regardless if Kirk's the quarterback, regardless if it's another QB, if you're going to keep Jay Jettis, you have to figure it out. But you're going to choose. Are you taking Jay Jettis, who's not even in his prime yet, or are you going to take Danielle Hunter, who's pushing 30? If not, it's going to be 30 very soon. And they're probably both going to ask for over $100 million. So if you're the Vikings, I think you're going to try to either sign and trade, or you're going to just cut your losses with Danielle Hunter, blow it up. And I know we already know the Vikings are, and this is probably not even going to be here because the Vikings are one of the teams that are trying to trade for a quarterback, which is marking it. Kirk Cousins Day, his day is coming soon. He's not going to be there much longer neither. So if I'm the Vikings, I'm probably going to take the L and probably lose to Neil Hunter because if you're blowing it up, you're not throwing $170 million at this edge.
Not at all.
You're not throwing money at Danielle Hunter because then you're going to lose Jets.
Yeah.
If you trade up to go get a quarterback, one of these top 3 QBs, and you get one of them, you're going to re-sign Jettis because you need whoever that rookie quarterback is to have a weapon.
Absolutely.
But that's why I'm going Latu here because I think they're going to lose Danielle Hunter because Hunter's already got Jacksonville and another team's already linked to Danielle Hunter already. So that's my pick.
Yeah, they've started looking up. They've already started looking at other offers.
Oh yeah, that man's out the door. I already got one foot out the door.
Yeah,
he's gone. I want to see what's going to happen with Kurt's contract, and I want to see what Jefferson's going to ask for because that man said, "I ain't taking no shorts." I don't blame him, but
I don't blame him either. Honestly,
I don't blame him either. But he said he's not taking no shorts, so I want to see how much Jefferson's going to get. He's going to push for something crazy, and I think they're probably going to wait for Mike Evans or somebody to set the market. Because if Mike Evans gets, I don't know, if Mike Evans gets $130 million, Jettis is going to be like, I'm better than him, and I'm 5 years younger than him. If he got 130, I want 160. He's going to say something crazy. All right, you on the board with the Broncos at 12. I'm kind of interested to see where you're going to go here.
I'm actually trying to see what Garrett Bowles' contract looks like. I'm not sure if he's a free agent or not. So I'm trying to figure out.
That's an interesting one. Are you considering Olu?
I am.
Oh, he's considering Olu. Garrett Bowles signed a 4-year, $68 million deal with the Broncos just to see when it ends, if they have it out after a certain year. That I'm not sure.
This is recent?
That actually might be 20. I think that's his last contract. He might be out now, dude. Yeah, he might be out.
So he might be a free agent.
Oh yeah, he's
he might be a free agent.
2025, he's a free agent.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
I mean, they still could. It don't matter. They still could use the line out.
I understand that, but I'm looking at that. I'm definitely looking at Rome because Jerry Jeudy is not what we all thought Jerry Jeudy was going to be. Cam Sutton can't really stay on the field.
He's also saying he's leaving anyway.
Yeah, he pretty much is like, yeah, no, I'm out.
Yeah, he already posted his goodbye to Denver.
Yeah, so and then there's I'm hearing rumors now that Denver is trying to see if they want to revisit restructuring Russ's contract. to have him stay in Denver. So like
because they probably know they probably ain't gonna be able to trade up for the top 3 pick.
No, and you know that's where it's tough. Like that's where I'm not really sure where to go here because Denver has more questions than answers. I'll put it that way.
Well, I'll put it like this: they're starting tackle Cam Fleming's a free agent.
Yeah, they're starting right tackle, right?
So,
you want to take this one? I'm probably just going to take as a like right now pick, just because there's so much about this offseason that there's too many answers to really give you a serious, like there's too many questions for me to give you a serious answer about. Mm-hmm. But I think Olu would be in play, Rome would be in play, Terry Arnold would definitely be in play. Jerzon Newton would be in play for that defensive line. Like there's a lot here. But I'm gonna go chalk here and just go with Olu.
Okay.
And stop the slide.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If you didn't take him, I was gonna take him next.
Which again, a lot of Raiders fans hate that idea.
I understand.
They hate it.
But like looking at the Raiders free agents, you got Andre James, their center's a free agent. Greg Van Roten, their guard's a free agent. Brandon Parker, their tackle's a free agent. Jacob Illuminor's a free agent, and I literally already heard the Giants are interested in Jacob Illuminor because we got their O-line coach Cam Brasillo. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, half their O-line seems like they're free agents. So that was going to be my pick. Just again to stop the slide, and like to me, it also does make sense. You get a tackle to fill a need. So, but him being off the board, again, I look over their free agents, and they got linemen. They got linemen, maybe like a linebacker or two. Their biggest one, obviously, is Josh Jacobs, and I don't know what's going to happen with him at the moment. It doesn't sound like he's going to be back, but there's not a running back that we're taking at 13. Like
I would say too, just to kind of throw the little hypothetical out there. Imagine Jerzon Newton next to Max Crosby.
That's literally my pick.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, I can't like, especially with the fact that they didn't get like a Jared, like that Jared Verse didn't slide to them after they could have had him at 4 instead of, I forgot the dude that they took. Hopefully he pans out. But like just having that monster like push on that side of the defensive line to help out Max Crosby would be massive.
Oh yeah, because you have an inside presence and an outside presence now. Good luck. That was literally my pick.
Yeah.
All right, you got the thing. Good luck with
this one is a little rougher for me because again, it just feels like New Orleans just needs everything and they need nothing at the same time. That makes sense.
New Orleans also has like negative $1 billion in cap space. I don't know how they're really allowed to play.
Like, I really
their whole season should be forfeit. Like you're playing exhibition right now. It doesn't count for anything.
But I will say that this one to me is kind of simple because I don't think Michael Thomas is going to be on that roster next year. And I think getting younger on that receiving core, like kind of gearing up and building that team so that when they're ready to really go out and get a young quarterback, that he'll be ready to go. I'm going to take Rome Odunze here to pair with the kid they took last year, whose name escapes me right now. I just know he was teammates with Garrett, and I don't remember what his name is right now.
The Saints?
Yeah.
They took a receiver last year?
Yeah, they did. Well, 2 years ago, not last year. 2 years ago.
Oh, Olave. I'm about to say they took
Olave.
There we go. Receiver last year? I was like, I thought I missed that.
Bro, time and space for me is just not a thing. Time and space.
Time is not a thing for me. All right. So if I'm the Colts, just a quick glance of their free agents, which also kind of sucks because Jerzon Newton could have definitely fit here because two of their top 3 free agents are Grover Stewart and Taven Bryant.
I mean, well, here's the thing. Okay. It's not like we now don't have any more DT prospects that have now made themselves a significant amount of money that have pushed the board a little bit for some people. Like Brian Murphy I've heard his name in the first round a lot. Like
I have to. I have to.
So it's like it's not crazy to be like, well, if you don't get Jerzon Newton, like you could take Brian Murphy here, and it would not be that crazy.
I've heard
would not be all that outlandish. I'm just saying.
That was going to be my pick. Like I was looking at the Raiders, and I thought the same thing. I was like, man, pairing Jerzon with Max Crosby would be disgusting. And then I looked down 2 spots later, and I was like, well, damn, I'm on the damn Colts. So this pick actually, the third of their 3 free agents. So it's interesting. If you hadn't taken Rome, I considered Rome here just because Michael Pittman is a free agent, and
I think they're going to reach
heavy interest. That's
I know, but I feel like they're gonna lock up Michael Pittman. Honestly, I don't think they're gonna let him go.
I don't think they're stupid enough to let him go either.
No, especially with they're going into essentially still a rookie quarterback because dude played 5 games.
Yeah, you still got Anthony Richardson. I want to see what's going to happen with Gardner Minshew. I want to see where he goes because that's going to be another interest. I mean, they'd be stupid to let him walk too, but then again, he might find a situation that somebody's going to throw some money at him to potentially either start, compete, or just be a good veteran backup.
I guarantee you the Jets are going to throw money at him because they said they're looking for a backup quarterback and they're willing to pay $10+ million.
The Giants did too, so I wouldn't be surprised if we want to throw our hat in that ring. I mean, the dude was a Pro Bowl alternate this year, so
yeah.
I mean.
That wasn't like a ha ha ha. He's a Pro Bowl. Nah, that was
like he actually played very well. Me personally, so here I am going to say the first corner is coming off the board.
Okay,
because
and
their main person, one of the main people, Kenny Moore, is free agent. I don't know if they're going to bring him back. I don't know if they're going to let him walk, whatever else. But I think I'm going to go with Terrion Arnold here at that corner.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. Terrion's coming off the board here at 15. You are up with the Seahawks, and I'm back with.
You know how much I hate this pick. You know how much I hate this. You know how much I hate this pick.
Yeah, I'm pretty aware.
All right, so let me take a small look. Let me take a little peeky at their free agents. Ironically, Leonard Williams, Bobby Wagner, Drew Lock, Jordan Brooks. I mean, I wish there was a linebacker. That's the thing. Like, I wish there was a linebacker that was enough for me to take in the first round, because it feels like that is truly what they would really need.
There's literally no linebacker with first round worthy.
No, not at all. Oh man.
Where are you going? Where are you going at this pick? This is what I'm interested. Where are you going to go with the Seahawks?
That's rough. Rough, bro.
This is an interesting board, which is kind of
This one is.
We're getting to that part of the round where it's like,
yeah,
it's starting to get a little hairy. Where are you going here? I know where I'm going next pick. I'm not gonna lie to you though.
I hope you do know.
Yeah, I already know where I'm going this pick. As long as you don't take him, you take him and be a little pissed. But I also have a backup pick, so
no, I'm probably not gonna take who you're thinking of. I've heard some noise about this pick, and I think with how my thing is that like Seattle has a good, not great defensive end kind of group. They have a good, not great. Good, not great. You know, good, not great.
Don't do it.
And they need some juice, and I know there's definitely a guy on this list that has some juice. So I'm gonna give Seattle, and I'm gonna hate it because I don't want to have to play them.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna go with Juice Robinson.
You're a bitch.
I mean, not Juice Robinson, Chop Robinson to Seattle. Wait, did I?
No, can you not ruin my board for the sake of yours? Like,
no. I gotta restart because I fucked up.
Yo, I'm literally sitting here staring at the Jaguars free agents. I'm like, top 3 people: Josh Allen, edge; Dwayne Smoot, end; Caleb on Chase on edge. Bruh, like, you really gonna do it? Like, 3 edges, 3 edges these guys have, and you're gonna take this guy. Oh my gosh.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
I gotta pivot. There's no receiver on the board right now. I'm not taking.
Hold on.
Keanu.
Who did you take at who did we take with number 4? Marv? We took Marv, right?
Yeah, the what's it called? The Cardinals? Yeah.
Marv. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
5 was ours. 6 was neighbors.
Would you like the recap? We can recap. Let's recap for the viewers. Let's scroll back up.
Well, it's only because I forgot to put Terry on Arnold, so I mistakenly drafted Chop Robinson.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guys, let us know in the comments how we're doing. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
Oh, they're going to tear this one apart. I'm not going to lie to you.
Tear it apart. I want content. Like, I want y'all to talk to us.
We want discourse.
Of the picks so far. Let us know down below. Let us know in the comments. Like I said, it's going to change, 6 ways from Sunday. Before the draft. There's gonna be trades up and down these boards. So everything's gonna change. Then the underwear Olympics is gonna happen, aka the NFL Combine, where everybody's gonna come out with this spandex and they're gonna run 4.3s, and everybody that was a fringe third rounder is gonna jump to the end of the first round because that's what happens in the off season.
It just happens. No, it just happens that way. Who did we at 9 for Chicago?
The one I couldn't fit on the what's the name? Dallas Turner.
Okay, that's what it was.
You got Dallas Turner. You got your boy Tally Fonga. Fwanga, yeah. We always butcher it. Talisi Fuaga.
And what was
we pronounce it the way it's spelled.
And then we have Olu here.
Tally Fwanga.
Rome,
Terrion, and
Chop.
And Chop.
Chop. All right, I'm all caught up now.
All right. Well, who's the next edge up here? That's not gonna happen. We are not taking Brandon Dorless. Brandon Dorless yeah, he's a mid-second round, third round guy. We're not taking Brandon Dorless yet. All right. Well, now that I'm struck out on the edges, I can't take Chop anymore. You guy took Jared Verse top 10. Wow. That just like threw everything off. Jared Verse I didn't take in here. Damn it, man. All right. Well, again, looking at their free agents, you got Josh Allen, Jamal Adams, Dwayne Smoot.
He wouldn't have got here anyway, because if he was there, I would have taken him at 16.
I would have taken Chop then.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would have had one or the other. It would have been fine. This is going to be one of those picks now. The Jazz are going to sit up here and trade out this pick now, thanks to you. That's what's going to happen now. Thanks to you. All right. Well, the main thing I'm looking at other than this is the fact that one of their starting corners, Trey Herndon, is a free agent. So I'm looking at corner. It's just more. That's like the one thing I'm looking at, because I was gonna go edge, but all the edges are gone. That's worth a first round pick. The next receiver,
right? It depends on who your second corner is, because
listen, I've seen Kool-Aid drop down to like the end of the first round.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing, because at one point Kool-Aid was like clear cut number 1.
You know what's crazy? Like, the one thing I hear about him all the time is there's nothing wrong with him. He's just not. He's solid. Like, he's solid. He's solid. Like, that's all. That he's solid. Like, there's nothing wrong with him, but there's just a lot more sexier picks, a lot more upside picks.
For the sake of the board here, we're not doing trades.
Because this would definitely be a trade out for you.
Yeah, like I'm trading up or out of this pick some type of way, like, because like I'm not forcing anything else here, like, and like if I go down the board, like if I go down the board, should I even go down this board? Yeah, like if I look, man, only other thing yeah, but no, I was thinking Byron Murphy, but I don't think they need an inside guy. I really don't think they need an inside guy. They literally they have like 4 to 5 free edges. Like literally,
You know
literally.
somebody gonna get re-signed.
Somebody's gonna get re-signed, but I don't know if it's gonna be Josh Allen. For the sake of this,
There's no love for Braylon Trice.
I'm what? No, not that high. Not 17. I ain't taking Braylon Trice. The people who are watching this is gonna be the last time they watch us. Take Braylon Trice at 17. I'm gonna go Nate Wiggins here. I think
Nate
he's
Wiggins.
a solid physical. I think he's a solid physical corner. I think he's gonna fit their defense and just bring a little extra nastiness to that secondary. So that was my pick there at 17. I had to figure something out because I was floundering out there for a second, man.
Your man had to talk. He had to talk through his life real quick.
Yo, like I call his lifeline in real quick.
This one to me again is chalk. We all know what they need. They all know what they need. As much as they're like, oh, corner, wide receiver are like the needs here, I'm like, they're losing Jonah Williams, and he really wasn't that much of a plus for them from what I hear. So I'm taking J.C. Latham here.
J.C. Latham? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Chalk that up. The Bengals won't like that. I think the Bengals are going to like that. Give him J.C. And I'm back on the board with the Rams. Rams at 19, I'm going corner. Because one of their biggest things is the Kella Weatherspoon. He's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I'm thinking here is Byron Murphy.
Really?
The only reason I'm thinking that
I was thinking about just blowing the whole thing up and just fucking this whole thing real quick.
What you doing?
Like, JJ? Question mark? JJ? Question mark? Give him. I mean, listen, he's good enough, but raw enough that sitting behind Matthew Stafford under Sean McVay and Mike LaFleur and just not having to play for another 2 years. Listen,
that throws a wrench in the argument. What I was going to do, but I'm gonna counter that.
Okay,
counter that because when I look at this roster and I look at their free agents, corner. Kella Witherspoon, free agent. John Johnson, safety, free agent. Duke Shelley, corner, free agent. Jordan Fuller, strong safety, free agent.
I know who you're taking. I know who you're taking now. Okay, this makes sense. If you don't take who I think you're going to take, that don't make sense.
I'm taking the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But also play some safety.
Okay. So I know who you're taking.
Versatility. Corner, safety. Can I say he's like the defensive version of Cooper Kupp? I think the Rams like that. So
yeah, I absolutely agree. I feel like that's a hand in glove fit. Again, another chalk pick to me. Well, here's my thing. It's not. It is, but it isn't.
Because I was only thinking Byron because there's always that whole thing of Aaron Donald every year. Playing another year.
No, I'm talking about for the next bit. I'm talking about for the next bit.
Steelers? Oh, yeah.
I agree with you 100% on the Rams one. Here's the thing with the Steelers. The Steelers have two major needs, and I know we have a Steelers fan in the group chat that, like, he always just picks the same person to this pick. But they also need a corner. They need to get younger at corner. And they need to keep adding to that staple. And I do think that there's a guy here who I've heard a lot about, and a lot of teams even have him at corner 1.
Quinyon Mitchell.
Yep. So I'm looking at him like that's tough. It's tough, but they really, and again, because they want to run the ball, because they seem to be going in the direction of being a more smash mouth physical team. I think I'm just gonna go with the athlete here over anything, and I'm gonna give him Marius Mims.
Ooh.
and just kind of give them back those booking tackles that Georgia had.
Ooh, little Emarius Mims. All right. Yeah, Brett gonna love that.
Yeah, no, he's had this one in all of his mocks, so it's like I would rock the boat, but at the same time, I just look at the offensive tackle talent, like following this guy, and it's like the upside for Emarius Mims is all pro, and I just don't think I don't think that you can get a corner that can mirror that kind of potential. And I think you can get a decent corner later on.
Fair.
Or you can scheme it up and you can survive without one. Especially because you got Micah back there, like bro, y'all gonna be alright. Like you don't need a corner. Y'all gonna be straight.
All right, so I got pick 21 with the Dolphins, and so still there's not really an edge I can take here. So I'm not about that. Only I'm looking at edge because, I mean, they have some older names at their edge spot. The main thing that really stands out to me, their main free agent this year is Christian Wilkins. But I gotta believe they're gonna bring him back. I gotta believe they're gonna lock him
after
the
run we just had with Q and
like he has
your
to
boy. Yeah.
They got to bring him back if they want any type of semblance of that defense still being the same. Like they got to bring him back. Yeah. Now looking at the board here again, I was looking at I keep looking at Byron Murphy because then they have Raekwon Davis next to him. He's also a free agent, so I'm considering like, do I put Byron next to him? But then I keep looking at him. Go ahead.
I know my cousin is a Dolphins fan, and like the first thing he said to me was like, "Yo, I hope Romo Dunze drops to us." I was like, "Bro, yeah, no, no." So apparently they do feel like they need another guy, but I don't know. If it's early. I don't know if it's too early. Like I don't know.
I think it's too early for another receiver. I mean, the next one on our board is Keon Coleman. After that,
I think this board.
I like Brian Thomas. I like Brian Thomas.
That would have been the guy I would have gone for.
I know. I like Brian Thomas, and I do like that pick. I'm looking at one thing, though. Justin Bethel, Eli Apple, Nick Needham, all corners, all free agents.
Ooh. Not to mention, let's keep it a stack. If we really want to be real about it, Jalen Ramsey is more of a strong safety than he is a corner. Like you throw a guy that has legit speed at him on a go route, Jalen Ramsey's getting burnt every play.
He has been burnt multiple times.
We're talking every single time you have a fat guy on a go route against Jalen Ramsey, he's getting smoked.
Jalen Ramsey does get smoked. He's a good corner. He's a good corner, but he has been smoked a good amount of times this past season, especially. They've been showing a lot more of him getting smoked.
Yeah, he needs to more look at Logan Ryan real quick and just be like, maybe that's the route I need to go. Where you need to be a DB chess piece that stays a little closer to the line of scrimmage, brother. They hang out with them linebackers a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm going corner here for the Dolphins. Like I said, if you can upgrade from Eli Apple, I think you do it no problem. You have Jalen on one side. I mean, it's not hard to upgrade from Eli Apple, but
say
it's not that far.
You really ain't gotta go that far.
No, it ain't. It's like me playing corner, but you ain't got. I'm just saying. Wait. So I'm going corner, and I'm going Quinyon Mitchell.
I definitely get it.
Yeah.
Yo, even in hours, your man Kool-Aid is dropping.
Yeah, like.
Yo, that's crazy.
I mean, you can put it right here if you want to give.
Like, again, my pick was gonna be Kenyon on this one. So I think honestly, I'm gonna give because the Eagles need to get younger at corner. They really need to get younger at corner. Like it got exposed this year for sure. Their corners got exposed this year. So before I even make the pick, let me see who else is there. Okay, Yeah. Honestly, I'm not going to front. Ennis Rickshaw has been getting a lot of first round buzz.
Yeah, I see that.
He's been getting a lot of first round buzz, but I don't know. I don't know if he's more of that star position over
I've seen a lot
anything.
of Abrams Drain too.
Who?
Abrams Drain. I've been seeing him go up a lot too.
I don't know who that is. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I believe it's the corner. Is it the corner from Mizzou? I believe he's from Missouri.
Oh well, I'm not taking. I'm gonna go Kool-Aid. I'll go Kool-Aid McKinstry here.
That was short lived.
Yeah, and no, I'm not gonna do that.
All right, I'm picking for the Texas team that I don't mind picking for.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah, you got the Eagles and you got the freaking Cowboys.
And again, the only other guy I didn't think about, but I probably would have taken here would have been Lane Johnson's replacement. That's the only other position that you make a strength stronger because Lane's not long for the league, so of course you kind of want to supplement that guy, but they need corners so badly that it's dude, Kool-Aid is still very talented, and I think he'll be a solid guy.
All right, I'm up with the Texans,
and
the main thing I think so the Texans. While the Texans had a great season, but looking at a lot of their roster, there are some people that are a little more up there in age. They had George Fant, Jerry Hughes is up there, and I think there's a couple different ways they can go. But I see a lot of defensive linemen, and particularly I see a lot of defensive tackles. Hassan Ridgeway's a free agent, T.R. Tart's a free agent, and Sheldon Rankins is a free agent. I don't know if they're going to bring back any of them, let alone all three of them. So for that, I'm going to go Byron Murphy here.
I get it. I definitely get it.
Yeah.
Now, here's my thing with Dallas.
And
as much as it says that their needs are offensive line, it's questionable to me at best. I have to check to see who their free agents are. Honestly,
Cowboys.
Yep.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I really don't know. Again, I'm not a Cowboys fan, so I don't follow it. Wow.
The big one is Tyron Smith. You got Tony Pollard, Stephon Gilmore, Doris Armstrong, Jerron Kearse, Chumudoga.
Ooh, do I do it?
Ooh. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to strengthen that interior line.
Graham Barton?
No.
Don't take Cooper Beebe.
No. What?
Troy Fanatol?
No, I'm going to take the guy that had a really good Senior Bowl week and that I've heard a lot of buzz about. Jackson Powers Johnson, center out of Oregon.
Really? Even with the Bionich there?
Yes.
Interesting.
It's firmly from what I hear, there's a lot of he's the number one interior lineman. Unquestionably.
Okay. I'm not mad at it.
The only other guy I probably would have thought about was Byron Thomas, just because I feel like they only have CeeDee Lamb ever. So they definitely do need another receiver there.
All right. Let's see. Packers. I'm very conflicted here.
I'm gonna say we already know they're not going offense, so
but I want to do it just for the sake of the block. I want to do it.
I get it. I understand. Because, I get it.
They need an offensive tackle. They need a guard. They need a linebacker. Oh my gosh!
Well, we know they're not taking linebacker. That's the one thing we do know.
No linebacker really take there anyway. Oh my gosh, Packers. Do I do what my heart tells me to do, or do I follow my brain? Chat, what do I do here at the Packers? Like,
They're
because
not going to answer. I don't even know how many people are in here, but I guarantee you they're not going to answer.
They're not going to answer. They're going to be like, make the stupid pick so we can laugh at you. Yes. Oh, my gosh. I want to break the curse. I want to do it.
It feels like every time we do it, you get your hopes up and they don't do it. So, like,
fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm breaking the curse. I'm doing it. This is the year. You heard it here first.
You're getting a receiver?
I'm going receiver.
You're going receiver. Wow. Okay.
Receiver. I'm going receiver. I'm going Brian.
Wow. Wow.
Yup. Wow. Give Jordan Love another weapon.
Wow.
Give him another weapon. You got Dobbs. I was gonna go Guyton. That was the brain. You gotta protect Jordan Love. They got a lot of linemen up here that are free agents. You can always add to the old line. It's a Packers pick. There was talk about like Bakhtiari potentially getting traded too.
Yep.
So it was the brain was telling me Tyler Guyton, don't kill me, but for the sake of let's make this interesting. Give Jordan Love a weapon. Like let him go. He's got Wicks. He's got Dobbs. He's got Jaden Reed. Add to that receiving core. Brian Thomas is a touchdown maker. Puts up stats. Takes the top off the defense. Go let him go give him a weapon. Like he wasn't Favre. He wasn't Aaron Rodgers. Go give the guy a weapon. I mean, look at the Packers. Their best years were where they had some of these three-headed monsters at receiver. Like when you had Donald Drivers and you had James Jones and you had Greg Jennings, and had Jordy Nelson. Like those were their best Packer years when you had three, four stud receivers. That it was just receiver after receiver after receiver, and they ain't got it right now. They could in a couple of years if they all stay together, but that's to be seen. That's where I'm going with that pick. It probably ain't gonna happen. I understand that full and true, but give Jordan Love another weapon. You can go back in the second round and get a lineman.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
End of round.
Tampa Bay. I look at their free agents and I don't believe that the team needs list at all. Like I really just don't. Like they're gonna re-sign Baker. Stop it. I don't really know the state of their offensive line. It didn't seem as terrible to me. I don't really see a lot of.
It was all right, but then remember that Ryan Jensen, their starting center, retired.
Yeah.
Remember that.
But again, there isn't really a center prospect outside of Johnson Powers Johnson that I would take here. Fair honestly. Enough. So because I know the most expensive person on this list, I'm gonna go probably chalk here. And I'm gonna go Keon Coleman to Tampa Bay at 26.
Replacing Mike Evans, 6'5" receiver.
Yep.
I respect it.
Let him go and make $30 million somewhere else. You go and reset the clock in a lot of ways. Because you're gonna have to pay Baker. Devin White is free agent. Like a lot of the defense is a free agent. So like you're gonna have to spend that money elsewhere.
I respect it. All right. I'm back on the board with the Cardinals. And admittedly, I jumped the gun and I looked up the Bills free agents. Not the Cardinals free agents. Completely messed it up.
I just hate that again, another team I don't really want to pick for.
I mean, yeah, you being a Jets fan, I completely understand it. But you know what? I'm not even looking at free agents because I'm kind of locked into this pick already. So we went 4. We went Marv. We gave Kyler a weapon. So I'm going to come back now at 27, and I'm going to give him protection.
Yep, there it is.
And that means I'm going to go interior, and I'm going to go Graham Martin.
Ooh, okay.
I understand. I understand you Guyton just for the sake of a tackle.
That was my
thing. DJ Humphries, I know you said that earlier, but I want to protect the inside. We'll protect the interior first.
And here's my thing. Oh, that's who Seattle could have went with. Now that I think about it, the guy that I keep hearing about a lot was Troy Fatnow to Seattle. Um, but that makes this pick to me interesting because I remember watching the Bills and their offensive tackles got whooped in the playoffs. They looked terrible. Like
this is where I was gonna go.
Terrible.
I thought I had the Bears first, the Bills for a second, so I was gonna go Guyton here. I was gonna go Guyton.
But see, here's my thing. Like the part that makes this even just a little difficult
is the curveball.
There's the curveball. You have Micah Hyde, that's a free agent. You have Leonard Floyd, that's a free agent. You have like Dane Jackson, who's a free agent. Like you have Taylor Rapp, who's a free agent. Like you have a lot on that defense that are free agents, and it makes me really want to look at like Cam Kitchens. And then I also look at like A.D. Mitchell here as like a touchdown guy because it's like he needs that guy, and Gabe Davis is not that guy. He's not that guy.
Okay.
I don't know how many times I can say it. He's not that guy.
Like 4 or 5 now.
Yeah. It's so tough because like there's the not sexy picks, but like their offensive line really got beat up a lot, and Josh Allen was running a lot last year.
Yeah. Yes,
he was running a lot last year.
Yes, he was.
So I'm gonna do the boring pick here.
Ooh, what's the boring pick?
I'm gonna do the boring pick. And I'm going to give them a little versatility along that line. I'm going to go with Troy Fatnow from Washington.
Okay.
Don't hate me,
Not
Bill.
Mad at it, though. Not mad at it, though. Can't be mad at it.
No, not at all.
All right, the Lions pick is interesting because
for sure.
I'm looking at their free agents. You got Romeo Okwara, you got Charles Harris. You got some linemen and everything. Had you not gone there, I might have gone Troy here, just because they have some needs. They have some O-line needs. And I'm looking at the board. You're not gonna go quarterback or anything, get crazy. I know Jared Goff is there, but you have Hendon Hooker you just got last year, so you're not gonna go quarterback.
Yeah, so that's not a thing.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing. The one name that's really on the board that's really standing out to me right now, honestly, is Cam Kitchens.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking here.
You give them some versatility. You give them another defensive piece, and then honestly, my main two reasons. Well, my other reasons are your two starting safeties are both free agents: Will Harris and C. Gardner Johnson. So I don't know what happens with the fate of both of them. I don't know if they're going to resign both. C. Gardner will obviously be great to bring back. If you compare him with Cam Kitchens, you might have something really good.
Yeah,
you can get C. Gardner on a multi-year deal and bring him in with Cam Kitchens. I think it'd be good.
Plus, he definitely gives them that. He gives them that attitude that they need, like that swag.
Yeah, like I was looking at other positions. Like I was looking at edge, and I was looking at O-line, and I mean, there's some interior pieces they could go, but I think it's just too soon for the next people to really come off the board, like BB and everything. Yeah. I was looking at Guyton, but I don't think Guyton. They have tackles, so
yeah,
especially with like Penny over there and everything. The only thing I was thinking about was Lassiter, but I don't know if I want to go Lassiter in the first round right now.
No, I don't think that's a move. This one is tough for me because they're free agents. They have a laundry list of free agents. Baltimore has a laundry list of free agents. You got Odell, you got Kevin Zeitler, but now it's like there's really no guard I want to take. Honestly, like there's
like unless he shows out, it's the next person up will probably be BB, and he's not. I don't think he's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna get up to 30.
No, or it might be like a center that you want to play at guard or something.
Maybe.
And the West Virginia kid.
Zach Frazier.
Yeah. You got a bunch of wide receivers. So like that's one. I can't really go linebacker.
No, there's no first
There's not
round.
really another edge that I can look at and be like, I'd be comfortable taking that.
Yeah, no.
I do know that they're a little older on the offensive with the tackles. So like,
Yeah, I
maybe.
mean, your biggest. I mean, I would say here, I would go Guyton only because if you're thinking line, I would say Guyton only because you got Staley. I think you have Staley on one side, but then I know you had
Morgan
Moses on the other side, who's a little
Yeah.
older, who didn't hold up that well this past season.
No, he didn't.
So
but for me, it's like this one has to be the thing that I look at is like the offensive line actually didn't play bad, but a lot of the receivers just did not get open, dude. Like a lot of the wide receivers just did not get open.
Fair.
And it's so hard to just, not want to. And I feel like honestly, the one thing about Baltimore that I've noticed is that with the type of offense that they run, it's a lot of short to intermediate game. So, but they don't have size. Like they have Bateman, but that's like the only receiver with size. My problem is that like you get a guy. There's a guy that I like for them because he is a speedier guy. But then you also have like a touchdown guy in A.D. Mitchell. But in terms of like, I remember hearing something about him this year about him having trouble with drops. I haven't watched Texas enough this year to really be able to tell you.
I mean, he's ranked over what's his name? He's ranked over Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, well, and I don't really take PFN as like gospel because some of the rankings are a little,
very, very true too.
You know what? I'm gonna go with A.D. Mitchell here just to give Lamar like a bigger target.
Another receiver. I mean, I wouldn't be. I don't know if you'd be mad at it because you're moving on. You're gonna move on from Odell, and then the thing that you move on from Odell. That's one. The second part about that is that Bateman can't stay healthy and can't stay on the field. That's two.
No.
3, you have the whole thing that just happened with Zay Flowers. So we have to see what's going to happen with him in that whole assault case, whatever. So,
and then on top of that, your other free agents are Nelson Aguilar, Tranquil, Duvernay. Like you're losing a lot of depth there too. Well, like that's 5 wide receivers at this point that are question marks or free agents.
There you go. So I'm back on the clock with the Niners, who we went into a lot of detail about early in this podcast. So I'm going to get back into all of that. But sitting here on the board, and I don't think Tyler Guyton is going to drop this far.
Like, I don't, but it's just hard to place him. It's hard to know where to put him.
And I think that's honestly was one of the not knocks, but I think that's one of the things that's going on with him right now in general, even in like how people have been talking about his whole draft process, the whole Senior Bowl process, and everything. Everybody's been talking about like,
he's the best. He's from what I hear, he's the best offensive lineman athlete. Like he's the best athlete, and it's not close. But in terms of technique and all those other things, like he still needs to learn how to play tackle.
Got you.
That's a lot of what I hear. Not to mention, I think Trent is a free agent.
Trent Williams?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm looking at the roster right now. He's not.
He's not? Okay. And it's not him. It's the guy on Teron Armstead. That is then.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Teron Armstead. Okay. Because I'm like, I know it's one of them. I know it was one of them.
So I'm not going Guyton here. So what I'm doing is, the Niners have really built themselves up defensively, but looking at a lot of their free agents, you got Randy Gregory's a free agent, Chase Young's a free agent, Javon Kinlaw's a free agent, Sebastian Joseph Day's a free agent, Cleveland Farrell's a free agent, Kevin Givens is a free agent, and those are all.
So Leonard Taylor.
Leonard Taylor is the pick.
Yep. Okay.
Leonard.
I'm mad that because of where he is on this list, I kind of forgot about him. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of forgot he was there.
You just keep building it up. Like, just keep building that defensive up. Like, again, Javon Kinlaw, Sebastian Joseph Day, and Kevin Givens, 3D tackles are all free agents.
Not even that, too. You also got Greenlaw, who you don't know when he's coming back now. Like, he popped his Achilles in the Super Bowl. So that's at least maybe a year. So he's probably out all of next year.
Yeah, that's a linebacker they're definitely losing. They're gonna have to probably find somebody in the draft to replace that too.
Yeah,
because that's Fred Warner's running mate that he just lost. I mean, it's the Niners. They're gonna find somebody. They always find the linebacker that just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna really hate this.
JJ McCarthy. The heir apparent to Pat Mahomes.
Now, here's my thing. Chris Jones is now also a free agent, so we'll see about that one.
It's crazy his contract's up already. Dang.
Yeah.
I feel like he just signed a new deal.
He signed a temporary new deal. He signed that 1 year. Because remember, he was holding out.
True.
So he signed that 1 year. They probably got some kind of handshake deal. So Devon Smith, who got completely dog walked by Chase Young yesterday, he got dogged out by Chase Young yesterday, is a free agent. They have another tackle that's a free agent. It's probably not their biggest need, not gonna lie, but there's no way for me that I look at the board and I can take someone else. So I'm gonna take Tyler Guyton.
Okay, there you go. He makes it to the first round. He sneaks in the back half.
There's no way for me that I could do this and then not it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
There you go. I mean, really, you made it so I can't fit the whole thing. Oh, I just fit on the board. Oh my gosh. There you go. There is our first stab at this. At the first round of the mock draft this year. I want to see. There's no way we can see it though. That's the only thing I hate, is that you can't see who's left on the board.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a significant amount of talent, and I think that makes the second round so interesting, because I think then you'll also get that next round of wide receivers off the board. You may see a couple of linebackers. That's where the other positions, a little bit more safety. There's still Tyler Nubin, who we didn't even talk about, who could definitely be an early second round pick.
I was considering him with the Niners, because they had a lot of secondaries going to free agency. I was definitely considering him with the Niners too, because especially, I mean, you saw the Jair Brown went down. I don't know if the extent of the injury, but he's banged up. Then you got Hufunga's coming back next year off of his, I believe it was an Achilles, ACL tear. I want to see what the ACL.
Might be an ACL tear.
I want to see Hufunga had an ACL tear. And then, I was looking at Nubin there, to be honest. And then, the big thing is those other quarterbacks.
Yeah,
that's what I would see.
Who's gonna take Bo? You have Bo Nix,
Penix,
yeah.
And McCarthy was up there too.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of talent. There's I think 2 or 3 tackles up there still that could I think Morgan was up there still. There's still a lot.
There's a couple of more versatile where it's now you feel more comfortable taking some of the tackle talent. You had a boat ton of wide receivers there. Then the wide receivers, I think, to me were really, because again you had Troy Franklin, you had Rome Wilson, you had a bunch of wide receivers there.
Yeah, both Xavier's, Leggett and Randy. They said Troy Franklin. There's still a lot of talent up there. A lot of talent.
You had the rest of the edges. The rest of the edges.
Oh yeah. I mean, that there was so much up there. Again, I wish. There's no way to go back and see it though.
Unfortunately.
That's one thing I hate that they do that. I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, no trades considered. I think it's a solid round.
Yeah. And I think it's probably apparable, give or take a couple of spots. Because again, I don't think Troy Fatnow falls that far. I just completely forgot him with Seattle. Honestly, But I can still see Chop Robinson. Like again, I've heard Chop drop, or he could go there. Like there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent, and I wouldn't even be surprised if we do get 5 or 6 offensive tackles off the board in the first round.
Nah, I wouldn't either. I'm interested to see. Really want to see when people start making trades and everything. I want to see if it's going to be leading up to the draft or it's going to be mostly during draft night. Because if it's leading up to the draft, then the board is definitely going to change. So I can't wait to see that.
I am also really curious to see, if say one of the quarterbacks falls, like if a Drake May falls to 5, like how far back would the Chargers move to still think they're still going to get Bowers? Because I think Bowers, if he doesn't go to the Chargers, like where does he go?
Bowers, that's interesting.
Yeah, too. Where does he go? There's really not a spot for him. I know a lot of Jets fans kind of want him, but I'm like, I don't see the point in that.
You know where I could see him going? Falcons.
I mean, with the new coaching staff, I can definitely understand that, but I think the Falcons are. It depends. Like, if they were to trade for Justin Fields, then absolutely yes. Yeah.
Like, I only say that
on a blocker.
I only say that, and it's weird because they have Kyle Pitts. But they could split both of them out, and Kyle Pitts has been split out to play receiver. You put both of them out on the field, and to be honest with you, I can't name a Falcons receiver
outside of Drake London. Outside of Drake London, like you might as well just then have like Drake London be your 1, Kyle be your 2, and then you would have Brock Bowers be your 3 or be your slot guy.
You gotta get freaky with it. And I mean, if you can if you can add Justin Fields to that and have you got Justin Fields to that, and you can have Justin Fields and Bijan playing a little RPO game in the backfield.
Not even just Bijan, because you still got Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, very true. Still have him too. Do they still have Tyler Algier too?
Tyler Algier's still there. It's still the bell cow back. So it's like you would have a nice you would have a hard time trying to figure out or try to scheme up how to stop this team.
Yeah, because you got tight ends. Like they're tight ends, but they're athletic as hell. Like,
and then you got Drake London, who's 6'5".
6'5" Drake, 6'5" Kyle, and 6'4.5" Bowers. Like,
and then you just got a and it's like, all right, cool. You don't want to do that, but we're just gonna run it on you all day with that offensive line, who's dirty.
And then you put it, like you said, you do that. You take those guys, those 3, and then you split out like Cordell Patterson into your slot, and then you have Bijan in the backfield with Justin Fields.
Good luck. Good luck.
That's 4'6'4". That's 6'4" and up receivers because Cordell's tall as hell too. Cordell's a 6'4" dude. He's not even a run. He's an athlete.
I
asked to play defense last year.
Bro, and then on top of that, now you're just asking Justin to do the short and intermediate stuff. You're not even asking him to throw deep balls at this point. No. Which I'm like, all right, cool. Okay. And I don't have to be that accurate. Just throw it up. throw it high.
Yeah. 3 6'5" people. Why don't you go get it?
Somebody go across the middle and go get it. Good luck trying to stop.
Yeah, and their tight ends going across the middle, not small receivers. I'm taking that hit. And I'm good.
The smallest guy is Brock Bowers.
Yeah. That's a good problem to have. Brock Bowers is the smallest guy split out. That's a really good problem to have.
And you're running screens. You're running screens. You're running screens at the bottom with Cordell and Bijan. The more I talk about it, the more I'm like, yo, Falcons, just give up the 3rd round pick, bro. You really don't need it.
Fields and Bijan in the backfield sounds interesting. Very interesting to me. That sounds very interesting.
And I think Raheem Morris is the coach now too. Come on, bro. Make that call.
Make that call.
I think Atlanta need that. Atlanta, we need that freaky type offense back. You need your Michael Vick. The city needs that. I feel like that division is so vulnerable right now. You could really mess around and win that division and be in the playoffs next year.
I believe it was the It was the
It's them, the Saints, the Panthers and
the Bucks, but like the Bucks won at 9-8, so I mean the division was open, and the Falcons were in it till like the last 2 weeks of the season. So
yeah,
and it's like you guys are still better quarterback plays, more weapons,
and you're picking at 8. That's the part that's wild,
right? You almost won the division. You missed the division title by like 2 games, and you're still top 10.
Yeah, like bro, I'm that 3rd round pick ain't necessary, fam. That's all I'm saying. That 3rd round pick ain't necessary. It's not. It's
there
not.
You go.
I'll give you a 3rd, a 6th, and maybe a 5th next year. Like, all right, that's over. It's an overpay. Yes, it's an overpay. I get it, but like with how close they are, and that offensive line is already good, which should be like the best offensive line Justin Fields has had since like Ohio State, fam.
Yeah,
if you, man. I don't know what you're waiting for at this point. Like, what do y'all waiting for? Go make that call.
Let's send this email to Raheem Morris real quick.
Like, bro, my boy. Like, I get it. Y'all probably worried about the money.
I got you.
Like, I understand you probably worry about the money, but like low key, like franchise tag him, like tag and trade him so that he's just on the franchise tag for a year and just like, listen, you lead us to the playoffs, we gonna pay you. Just go lead us do what Baker Mayfield did last year and just get us to 9 to 10 wins, bro. That's all we need you to do, and the defense gonna handle the rest.
Telling you, 9 wins won that division last year, man. It's possible.
It's 100% possible.
Definitely possible. Shoot. All right, man. Let's wrap it up. Guys, let us know your thoughts of the mock tonight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying with us, hanging out tonight. It's been a
I'll try to convince Joe to actually post this mock on the page. So if you want like wait and comment and just watch us get absolutely eviscerated, then by all means, it should be entertaining.
Oh yeah. At this point, we're both just like masochists.
I love it. I love the pain.
Yeah, just rip us apart like always. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna keep coming back anyway.
Yep. It's probably gonna get crazy. The next couple of times, we're probably gonna do trades.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When we start putting trades in. Oh yeah. Giants trading this 7th rounder for number 1. We're gonna have 1 and 6. I'm abusing the system next time we do this. That's it. Jay, what pick you want? You want 2?
Need to get up to 4 so I can make sure I get Joel. And I'm only giving up one of our many 7th round picks.
I'm telling you, I'm trading a 6 to 2 and a 7th to 1. I'm taking Caleb and Marv 1-2. I'm abusing everything.
At this point, I'm taking Joe and Malik Neighbors and calling it a day.
This is gonna be a Jets Giants mock draft next time. That's it. We're taking all 32 picks. That's it. Oh man, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good night. And until next time, peace.